What's up everyone, it's Red Gadget here, and I actually forgot to record this part of the video, so this is a part 2.5, so it's an extension to the neural network that we built. And yeah, I just wanted to do a demo of like some things that we can run with the model and make an inference, right? So we take some data that the model was not trained on and we can predict certain things. So I'm just going to keep it short and actually show you what were the predictions of the model, which is actually the most fun part about the whole video, and I actually accidentally forgot about it. So as you can see here, we have a game, the game that the model did not see, right? So this is actually, because for a model, it's very easy to just learn kind of by heart what happened and then just kind of show it to you again. So we don't want to show him the games we want to kind of test on. So this model, the model, this game, the model did not see. And yeah, so we have a player who went first. So player one went first, this player. The winner was player one, and then the predicted winner was player one. So here we actually predict correctly, right? We take the hand. So Raigeki break, swap, Caius, Fader, Brain Control, and Rhoda. And then we have Vayu, Whirlwind, Mirror Force, Blizzard, Shura, Kalut. So what is this? This is like Hero Frogs, and this is Blackwings. And the Hero Frog player went first with a relatively strong hand. Rhoda for what's his name? Stratos, probably search Ocean or something and can already start playing. Brain Caius very strong. And again, the secondary hand is also very strong, but we have a Raigeki break to answer the Whirlwind. So again, the first player has won, and we have predicted that the first player will win. So that was a success on our part. Now let's go to the another one. We have player who went first was this player. Player who won was this player. And the predicted player was this player. So the player one has Whirlwind, Legacy, Mirror Force, Suppression, Dust Shoot, Deep Prison. So not a single monster, but the Whirlwind in hand, which is good. And the second player is Banisher, Bottomless, Return. What is this? The Return, yeah, Banisher again, Macro, and Caius. Yeah, so I mean, this guy's playing a not so good deck, not so competitive deck. And even though this person went first, they did not manage to win because, yeah, the actual winner was the player on the left. Let's see another game. I gotta align this correctly. Okay, so player one went first. Player one won, and player one was predicted by us to win. So let's see what this looks like. So Mirror Force heavy. Treeborn, Deck Dev, Necro, MST. Could this be like Diva Hero? Probably, because they play Necro and Treeborn. I think that's the only deck I know that plays Necro and Treeborn, and Deck Dev main deck. And we have a player 2 who plays 6 Sams, so Yaichi, Shogun Shien, Rhoda, Shien's Foot Soldier, United We Stand, and Spirit. Okay. So I think this, like the left deck, is much more meta, and I think that's the reason why it won. Miracle Fusion is very strong. United We Stand might be a little breaky at times, but they did open Rhoda, but they didn't open. They did open. No, United We Stand is not a. No, it's the equip spell, right? It's not one of those 6 Sam cards. Okay, so they didn't open 6 Sam spell, which is kind of their most powerful part of the deck. Let's go next game. Okay, so the player who went first was the second player. First player won, but we actually predicted the second player to win. So let's see the hands then. This is the first one we miss, I believe. We have Allure, Deep Prison, MST, Burial, Gorse, Caius. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty tricky because Allure of Darkness, it kind of doesn't say much, or like Upstart Goblin, for example, doesn't give us much information for our model because we train on this, but the Allure draws them into another 2 cards, so that might be tricky for the model to actually understand what's going on, and the new cards they get might be actually contributing to the win, but we can never know. And then the player 2 has Bottomless, Grepher, Oppression, Torrential, Deep Sork. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I could see how we have predicted player 2 because he has very strong cards. Here we have Oppression, Torrential, Greffer, which is a starter, bottomless. But then again, we don't know what we draw into the with the Allure, so yeah, it's very interesting to see. So the model has actually misclassified this instance. Yeah, so the first player has won, and we have predicted for the second. The same happens here. We have Giant Rat, Banisher, Starlight, Kaiku, Soul Taker, Trag. And the second is Phantom of Chaos, Plague, Merchant, Burial, Sirocco, Trade-In. Huh, so it's like a mill deck with Merchant, but then we have a Banisher here. I'm sure this was a very interesting match to see. And I'm not sure what Giant Rat searches actually here. But yeah, we have Kaiku, which counters a lot of the strategies on the player's right, the player of the right. But then again, yeah, I mean, this is a much stronger deck, I believe, with the value stuff and the basically whole deck milling, Plague in hand, Burial, Sirocco. Like one Greffer makes this whole thing live. If we get Merchant to mill something good, we can do Phantom. If we draw level 8, we could trade in. So I could see how the second player has won this game. However, it's still interesting that this player went first and they could maybe establish a Banisher. But yes, I mean, again, turn 1, we don't have much info, so anything can happen. And of course, it's the model has 63% accuracy, so it cannot be always correct. Now let's go this game. So second player went first, second player won, and we've predicted the second player. So Avarice, Dust Shoot, Mind Control, Trag, Force, Gear Frame. A very strong hand. Gear Frame plus Force can be very strong. However, the Avarice is dead at the start if you don't open some hamsters or Raikos. I can see how Mind Control could be dead. And on the right, we have Dark Armed Icarus, Vayu, Rhoda, Gale, but that's like a cracked hand, okay. Yeah, this makes sense that going first plus opening like such good cards, obviously we predict that they win, which they do. This is very, very simple. We have a few more of these examples. I hope you're enjoying this kind of analysis of post model inference and then looking at the results. I find this very interesting. So player that went first is second player. Actual winner was the second player, and we predicted the first player. So let's see. So we predict the first player, even though they go second. It's very interesting. So let's see the hand maybe. So you have Bubbleman, Spark, Rhoda, Gilman, MST, Rybreak. I think that's a good hand. But here we have Spark, Hero Blast, Starlight, Future Fusion, DD Warrior Lady, Wildheart. Interesting, okay. A lot of strong cards on their own, but I believe what happened here. So the player went first. Yeah, the second player went first. Because I think if they set MST or Rybreak, and then they snipe the Future Fusion, which is a very strong card by itself, especially paired with Starlight Road. Like Starlight Road plus Future Fusion, if they open heavy, for example, is pretty much game. But yeah, they have spot removal for back row. So yeah, I could see how this could be misclassified. And I think it makes sense that the second player won because, again, Rhoda for Stratos, search probably Alias, you have Gemini Spark, have 3 pops basically of back row. And then we don't have, the player on the left doesn't really have that much to respond with. Let's go, yeah, player that went first player. So on the left, we predicted the player, no, the actual winner was 2 and we predicted the 1. So you have Fader, Messenger of Peace, Dark Bribe, Gale, Book of Moon, Mirror Force. And on the right, we have Lone Fire, Debris, Pot, Dandy, Brain, Book. This is very interesting. I don't think, like looking at this, player 2 has much stronger hand. But again, we cannot really know what the model does because it just sees a lot of data and it tries to optimize a function, right? It optimizes a function, and this function is kind of, this is a whole issue with ML models because they're kind of like a black box, right? You don't really know what is exactly going on in there. But yes, looking at this as a human, I believe player 2 is a lot stronger in this position. However, player 1 did go first, so maybe this it gives a lot of weight in terms of the model, right? We cannot know that. There's a whole field of like explainability which tries to explain machine learning models, which is something we don't really go into here. Player that went first, so player 1, actual winner is player 2 and predicted winner is player 1. Again, player 1 is going first, and he has a pretty good hand. My Body, Darius, Proving Ground, Waboku, Mirror Force, Waboku. This is a really, really strong GB hand. Second, we have Plague, Return, Goblin, Grepher, Spirit Reaper, Bottomless. If you ask me, I think this is going to the GBs. Just looking at this. The GB player seems much stronger here, and they're going first. They can establish a monster, plus a Boboku, plus Mirror Force maybe. We don't have Heavy from the other side, but again, who knows what how the game looked like, right? Maybe it's one of those long games, they're just better top decks or something, so who knows. Again, player 1 went first. We predicted a player 1. Future Fusion, very strong. I believe that's also a lot of the weight when it comes to these kinds of models, because Future Fusion seems to almost always predict the winner. However, as we might know, this might not work. As you can see, Heavy on the other side, right? So they could only send, probably. So Future Fusion, Ocean, Swap, Ecall, Swap, MSC. This is very strong, but let's see the other side. So we have Vayu, Solemn, Charge, Trooper, Bottomless, Heavy. I guess it depends on the mills, and they can use Trooper to beat over the Stratos. Very interesting. Then we have Space. I think this is one of those games which seem to be pretty even. But then again, yes, actual winner went to the Vayu player. But it started to be even. Player 1 went first and opened Future Fusion, which is very strong, but it was probably answered. Player that went first, player 2. And we predict the win for player 1, and it was the actual win for player 1. So this is, one of those rare cases there where we don't go first, yet we predict based on the better hand. So let's see how better the hand was. So Pot of Avarice, Book, Titanial, Lila, Torrential, Brain Control on the right, and then player 1 has Yara, Deepres, Sirocco, Deck Dev, Brain Control, Allure. So they both have Brain Control. Allure's drawing us into stuff. We have Sirocco, Deck Dev, which could be very strong, and we have Yara drawing us into stuff. So, and on the right side, we have Book of Moon, which doesn't do much. Pot of Avarice, that's dead. Lila has to mill, but it probably gets beat over by Sirocco. Yeah, and actually player 2 has went first, which might be even bad for them, because Lila doesn't get much value, and if it doesn't mill much, it gets beat over by Sirocco, and then set Deck Dev. And then Brain Control probably chain Deck Dev. We have our own Brain Control, plus we have 3 draws with Allure and Yara. We have a Deep Prison, and the opponent's stuck on a Dead Titanial. So we could see how the model actually generalized to take this into the account. Here, player 1 went first. Player 1 was the winner, and the predicted winner was player 1. Player 1's hand, Dark Bribe, Battle Fader, Mirror Force, Starlight, Compulse, DD, Survivor. On the other hand, we have Icarus, Blizzard, Heavy, Vayu, Whirlwind, Mirror Force. So we have a Whirlwind and all the small black wings. On the left, we have Bribe plus Road. Probably they heavy stormed into a Starlight Road, which is what won them the game, I would assume here. You could like set 1, 2, Set 4, Heavy, Stardust, DD Survivor, Attack. Yes. So I can see, even though it's a worse deck on average, I think the player 1 had better chance of winning this. So here, player 1 went first, Flip-Flop, Giant Trune, Treeborn, Dupe, Heavy, Moray. And player 2 had a Swap, Salvage, Lad, Mirror Force, 1-for-1, Uni. So we predict the second player. I think because this 1-for-1 is very, very strong, because they have a sub access. However, on the left, we don't have much going on. I'm not a frog player, so I don't really know much. But I think the right hand with 1-for-1 salvage looks a lot better. However, player 1 went first, so maybe they played Moray to draw into something else that, of course, our model cannot really predict. Here we have DD Warrior Lady, Decree, Honest, Vortex, Dialk, Fader, and on the right we have Blackwings with Morphing Jar. Shout out Echo YGO who played this for some reason a long time ago. Player that went first, player 1. Actual winner, player 2. Predicted winner, player 2. So the Blackwings win because I think it's just a better deck into fairies. I think they always, even going second, they always kind of end up being on top. Here, second player has started first, second player won, and we predicted second player. So you have a Hamster, Gale, Deepriz, Raikou, Charge, Vayu. And on the left we have Kalut, Icarus, Mirror Force, Shura, Bottomless, Deepriz. Interesting. I think going first, setting a Hamster is very strong. Deepriz as well. Charge, we probably get some milling going. So yeah, this does make sense. Hamster is very, very strong into Blackwings. We don't have a Whirlwind or something, so it's just a bunch of vanillas. Here, player that went first, player 1 won, and we predicted player 1. Grepher, Sirocco, always strong. MST to clear back row. Return to kill. Raikou, Caius. Extremely strong hand. Player 2, Kalut, Bottomless, Icarus, Jar, Sirocco, Prison. All cards very strong, but very bad going second. So I can see how it went to the Vayu player. Again, we predicted correctly. We have Retiari, Compulse, Prisma, War Chariot, Prison, Murmillo. And player 2, we have Deep Sea Diva, Gores, Iteli, Kribont, Kaiku, Brain Control. And we predict for the GB player, which makes sense because, I mean, GB's kind of, I think the GB's kind of win this with the given traps. And with the Gores, you can still tag pop the Gores. So it doesn't do much, and then you have to give them an open field. So Gores is like very, very tricky when it comes to GBs. So you correctly predicted that one. This one as well. Player 1 went first. Actual winners, player 1. So Lila, Necro, Trooper, Jane, Dad, Recharge. And on the right we have Nobleman of Extermination, which does nothing into Lightsworns. Upstart, Soul Exchange, Treeborn, Lad, Caius. Yes, I mean the left hand is a lot stronger. With Recharge we can start milling. We have a Trooper to start milling. We have Dad to get to 4 darks. We have Necro if we need another dark. Lila to pop. And we have Nobleman Extermination does nothing. Upstart kind of is just to draw 1. Soul Exchange for Caius, okay, but again they're gonna start poking with the small monsters, so you don't really want to Soul Exchange Caius that. And finally, we have player that went first is the second player. The player that won is the second player, and the predicted winner is the second player. So what do we have here? Icarus Legacy, Bora, Icarus, Dad, Shura. And to the left we have Grepher, Sirocco, Mirror Force, Raikou, Solemn, Dad. Interesting. I mean, 2 Icarus to clear all of this up seems pretty good. And even if the Dad comes down,
it's still probably gonna get cleared by Icarus, and we have our own dad on the right. So I think just by going first, the Blackwing player might be better, which is what we predict, what the model predicts, and what actually happened. So with that being said, that's our last example for today. I'm sorry I didn't include this in the original video, so it's gonna have to be posted as its own thing on the side. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.